so excited about today's video because this is going to be the most extreme clean with me I have done in a very, very long time.
Love is like a roller coaster, but I'm trying to hold on. I don't want it to stop. Even though we fight sometimes and it feels like a war zone, I still care about us. How do you move on when
I got a message from Marissa the other day. Marissa is one of the mamas I've been helping clean out everything, and I was supposed to go to her house today, but she messaged me saying she has a friend that really could use my help. Big hoopla going on with having tenants in his place that were destroying the property, drug use, a bunch of stuff, and finally was able to get them evicted after a year in the courts, but the place is destroyed. So out of the kindness of her heart, she's like, hey, don't come to my house, go to his house if you're open for it. She sent me pictures, I spoke with him, he sent me photos, and that is where we are going today. She is gonna meet me there for a little bit, which I was not expecting, but she wanted to introduce us and everything. And I love doing this because I love going off of referrals with people. It just builds the community so much. But I'm really excited for this because I know this is probably going to be one of the biggest transformations I have done in a very long time.
Trying to find a way to get you out my head. Don't know how to cope with being so broken. Girl, I can't forget about what we said. I just wanna love you a little bit more. Don't just walk away from me and close the door. Baby, pull me closer now before it's over. I just wanna love you a little bit more. Oh, I know that it's difficult dealing with emotions, but I want you to know that you'll always be on my mind. Even in the hard times, I care about you. How do you move on when everything goes wrong? I'm trying to find a way to get you out my head. Don't know how to cope with being so broken. Girl, I can't forget about what we said. I just wanna love you a little bit more. Don't just walk away from me and close the door. Baby, pull me closer now.
These 2 days were so long and we got so much done. Now, it was not just me doing this. We were on a time crunch. He needed to move in for some reason by Sunday, and this was Friday that we were able to get in here. He did do some work on Thursday. The room that looked really clean but had the walls tore up. Oh, I had to show you this. This was some of the paraphernalia we found in the house, credit card machines and stuff. We found so much more than just that. But that room was covered in dog hair and dog feces. And I did ask him when I spoke with him, I'm like, hey, before I show up, I do request that any like animal feces, drug paraphernalia, stuff like that be dealt with before I get here. This, I will say though, saddened me to get rid of all of this, but at the same time, finding the stuff that we found in this house, we were just not comfortable keeping anything or donating anything in this house. So yes, trust me, this definitely was a situation where all the unopened food and all these things was very saddening to just throw out. But like I said, it just takes them to be tricky and poison just one piece of food and get someone sick, and it be a horrible, horrible thing. So we made a group decision that everything had to go. Nothing was being saved. And that was our main focus on day one. I started in the kitchen. As you can see, there was a lot to go through. One of his other friends that came over, so it was him, myself, one of his friends, and then his dad was helping get this house completely cleared out on day one because that was our main goal. Taking a quick break because I want to go home and get my Serena air purifier. I love my Serena air purifier, and that place stinks. He said they had dogs, but I think they had cats too, because cats have such a distinct smell, and that house smells more like cat than dog. There has been some interesting finds. I've learned so much more about his situation, and it's just gut-wrenching, everything he's had to go through. So I guess it wasn't an eviction. He sold them this manufactured home, and they only ever made 2 of the payments to him and nothing else. So it was a lot more of a headache because it wasn't an eviction. It was like a contract thing. His realtor said these people were good people. You can sell it to them, all of these things, but they actually are like wanted in the state of Florida for being con artists and have done this over 60 times. We have found credit card machines and people's like screenshots of people's IDs, some X-rated things which he is taking care of, just on the floor. I'm not going to show you those things because I think I would get banned from YouTube. So yeah, I told him the plan today is we are just clearing out as much as possible. If I can get every room cleared, then I can come in and really clean and help get rid of the smell that is in that room. But we have to clear stuff out first. That has to be priority 1. And if I can get all of that cleared today, then the next time I'm out there, which is hopefully tomorrow, I can just come in with bleach and different cleaners and really thoroughly clean the place. So that's the plan. But first, I'm going to get my Serena air purifier, and I'm going to get my essential oils. That way we can get that running in the house and have something pleasant running because it's needed. But I am wearing gloves today. You guys should be happy. I figured it was a necessity. Also, I know some people are like, oh, why are you just throwing all this stuff into black garbage bags? There's no way we are comfortable with keeping anything, donating anything. We don't know the situation, and I'm not going to take that chance. He is not taking that chance. Literally everything is going. Usually I am all about donating, repurposing, all these things if possible. I am not comfortable with the idea of letting anything go to food banks or donation places or anything like that.
For the first time in ages, I wake up and don't hate it. I guess I found some peace. Through the day to the evening, without shouting and screaming, something new to me. Alone without being lonely, getting back to the old me. It's kinda nice to feel free. I thought this was over, thought I could control it, but if I speak the truth,
The air purifier definitely made a huge difference. It also made a difference that while I was doing this and his friend was working in one of the bedrooms, he had actually bought that kills for odor, and the room that had the dog issue in it, he was completely killing that room to help with smell in there. So the house smelled like paint and kills, but I will say that is way better than the initial smell that was coming from it. Definitely a situation where you guys should be very happy. There is no such thing as smell-o-vision. I say sometimes when I'm like cooking and baking on here, like, oh, I wish you could smell this. This is definitely a situation where I am very glad you couldn't smell it. Just even those dishes I just dumped out with that like food residue and water, It was so bad. I actually ended up bringing our shop vac because I did not want to obviously use a regular vacuum in this house with how it was. And I knew our shop vac, something that I could take outside, rinse out with the hose, thoroughly clean it. I will say though, as extreme of a cleanup this was, I was telling him that these are some of my favorite cleans because it's so satisfying to see the before and afters, to see how much we got done in such a short amount of time. Here you are literally looking at about 4 hours that I was at this house, maybe a little bit more than that, but it was about 4 hours that I was here on this day. I am always on limited time because of the kids and everything, and we were able to knock out every single room before I left, which is insane when you think about how many rooms had to be gone through and only so many people on hand. When it came to clearing the rooms, mainly it was me and his other friend that was here, and his dad was then helping us, this was a huge help, taking the bags as we filled them to the road. But for the most part, it was her and I just knocking out every single room. And by the time I got done in this kitchen, she had gotten done in the first bedroom, and we all got to work on this second bedroom. And like I said, he was in the bedroom where the dogs were, killing the floor and everything. And we all busted out this last room together.
We're falling out, we've reached disaster. Don't know where we're gonna be after. And we do it all again and again and again and again. Again and again and again and again. We're falling down, we faded. But I know that we can save it.
This was definitely a day that we were all very thankful for AC because it was hot outside and we were definitely very warm doing this. So definitely a good day for AC. I will say I felt so bad the next day when I had come. We had all of this nicely bagged, nicely put on the curb so that when the garbage men came, they could easily grab it and put it in. And people had gone through it, which he had somewhat expected, and there's only so much we could do about that. But they went through it and had stuff everywhere. Like, there was no generosity of making sure to go through it nicely and put it back nicely. So that added a little bit of extra work to the second day because we did have to get that back in order so that he didn't get in trouble with the city, and that when the garbage men came, that they were able to take care of all of that. But finally, the last room I had to get into and clear out was this bathroom. They were working in the closet, so I'm like, okay, can only fit so many people in a closet. You guys do the closet. I'll head into the bathroom and clean this one out. It wasn't too bad. There was still a lot of stuff, but it wasn't insane. So I was able to knock this out pretty quickly. I did find, and you'll see it here in a second, a butcher knife in this bathroom, and I was so confused. I'm like, why do you have a butcher knife in your bathroom by your vanity? So weird. There were also other unmentionables in here, so we made sure to toss that and everything. Yeah, very grateful I wore gloves, I have to say. It was definitely a necessity for this house. I always have people ask me why I don't wear gloves, and honestly, for the most part, I usually don't feel a need. I'll wash my hands and everything, and I hate the feel of gloves on my hands. Like, There's just something about that feeling that gives me like the heebie-jeebies, and I know it's so weird, but it does. So that's why I often don't do it. But to finish off the day, I was coming in with the shop vac. That way I could get everything off all the floors. So I went in every single room except for the kitchen. When I left, the only thing that was left to do was just like bringing out the last of the stuff to the curb. And I wasn't able to get like that main living area and the kitchen vacuum just because that stuff still had to be moved. But I knew I could go in both the bathrooms. There was 2 bathrooms. I could go in all the bedrooms except for the one that he painted. Obviously, not going to go step on wet paint. And get as much of this vacuumed up and cleaned up as possible.
Car, but we hit the road. Doesn't matter where we go and destination or no. I don't care where the motor stops. Cause when I want it, then I want it. Yeah, I want it. Oh, I want it. Let's go. Look around, where's the people at? I want a taste of the good life. Hit me with it right now, in it. Cause when I want it, then I want it. Yeah, I want it. Oh, I want it. Let's go. And I won't look back, yeah. I don't care about the back home. It's Cincinnati, baby. I just wanna let it go. Nothing matters when we're way out here. Oh, yeah. Maybe I don't have to know your real name. I'm just addicted to the way.
And then, of course, I had to show you guys the before and after of day 1 because I was in so much shock that we were able to get this much done in one day. I know we had 4 people, but there was still so much to do in here that the idea that we were able to get it all cleared out and vacuumed in 4 hours was very impressive to me, and the before and afters are really, really good.
Dance with you beneath the stars. Cause when I want it, then I want it. Yeah, I want you. Everything stops when you move like that. And I wanna get in close to you. It's what I'm gonna do. Cause right now I'm in it. I feel kinda dizzy when I'm staring at you. And I won't look back, yeah. I don't care about the back home. It's Cincinnati, baby. I just wanna let it go.
So you guys also know my rule that I always tell you guys, especially when it comes to my Helping Hand series, of if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I feel like this is my one exception. In this situation, this isn't his fault at all, and these people were not very nice people. They did not have good intentions, so I guess I feel a little bit differently. This is a total different cleaning situation. Normally I'm going in and helping people that are just over their head, overwhelmed. And in this situation, it's the same, but it was of no fault to him. So, yeah. Thank you guys, though, for always following that rule. You guys are always so nice in the comments, and I really, really appreciate it. But can you believe how much better these rooms already look just with having all these stuff out of it? I did also tell him on this day, I'm like, all right, now, before I come back tomorrow, go to the store, get bug bombs, put it in every single room of this house, and bomb the house while we are all out of it tonight. It'll give it enough time for it to work, clear out, and then I could come back the next day and get to cleaning. I wanted to try and focus on a lot of those like main areas that can be more difficult. So a lot of the work I was doing was in this kitchen, but then also in the master bathroom. I figured, you know what, it would be really nice to have a clean and sanitary place to eat and feel comfortable putting your food, but then also a clean and sanitary bathroom. If nothing else, him having at least those 2 places thoroughly cleaned would make a huge difference. Trying to work on areas that I thought would make the biggest impact for him. You guys know me. I like working in big impact areas to give people the motivation to keep on going and feel like a weight lifted off their shoulders. So same situation here. I knew I had 3 to 4 hours, so I was going to work on those areas that I knew I could bust out in 3 to 4 hours. I wish I had more time on this day, but I had actually already made plans with the mom I was helping, she was bringing over her son and 2 daughters to go swimming and hang out with my kids. So I knew I had a strict 3 to 4 hours to get all of this done and then get home. That way we could have our little play date, which was, by the way, so much fun. The kids were so good. They all played really, really well. And it was just really nice having a mom friend over to chit chat with. You guys know how much I love Easy Off when it comes to glass top stoves. It is the best, but you're gonna see when it comes to that stove that it takes multiple coats. Now, if you can put it on, put saran wrap on, let it sit for overnight, I have heard that works really, really well. But hey, we are working in with 3-hour increments. So when I do that, I like to work in layers. You're gonna see me wipe it off and put more on, and wipe it off and put more on. Same with this oven. Actually, the oven I didn't wipe off and put on. I vacuumed out the big chunks and then sprayed it, and I let this sit the entire 3 hours I was here. And you're gonna see I did not come back to the inside of this oven till the very last thing I did before leaving.
Live your life within the moment. And don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.
You guys should be so proud of me. I bought my 50 pack of melamine sponges off of Amazon. I had to show you guys because I tell you guys all the time, I am so brain dead sometimes that like I need to do something, and by the time I remember, it's like too late to do it or something. And I finally remembered. So many of you guys left comments in my last video like, all right, if you're reading this, don't forget to order your sponges. And you truly did help me. I read those comments and I literally got off responding to you guys and ordered them. So thank you very, very much, because yeah, I definitely would have forgotten again. But those are the best when you are cleaning, to really clean any space. Highly recommend melamine sponges. If you don't know what a melamine sponge is, it's basically a magic eraser, but it is so much cheaper if you go on Amazon and type in melamine sponges. Huge difference. But with cleaning the front of the appliances and everything, I will say when it comes to the appliances, I was using a Dawn vinegar water mixture to clean it, and not bleach or anything too harsh chemical wise. I'm hesitant about where I use bleach sometimes, and when it comes to food and stuff, I'd rather use my Dawn and vinegar and just give it a really thorough scrub out.
So let us dance this night away.
Now, as I was cleaning this out, one thing he did mention to me is that the fridge wasn't cooling as it should be. So I did decide when he told me that I wanted to pull out the fridge. Now, it could just be that the fridge is old and needs to be replaced. However, I know often if a fridge is not cooling properly, but it is cooling, it just needs the coils on the back cleaned off. And you're gonna see when I pull it out later, the coils were definitely extremely dirty. So I'm not 100% sure if this fixed the situation or not, but I figured if it did, it would save him a couple $100 on a repair, or a couple $1,000 on having to buy a brand new fridge.
Took a bite, and now I'm filled up. I don't know where you are tonight. 'Cause you're right, I've been starving, and now I don't know what to do tonight. But I've been feeling like you're pretty easy to like when your body is closer to mine. You got
All I can say when it comes to cleanings like this, or any cleanings that I do, biggest thing I always make sure that I have on hand is multiple mop heads. It's one reason I love the old cedar spin mop is I have so many different mop heads that I can bring them, replace them as needed, and make sure there's no cross-contamination going on. I know I don't really usually show me switching mop heads or switching microfiber cloths, but I usually bring so many mop heads and microfiber cloths because I know I'm going to go through them all. And I definitely did on this day. I used every single microfiber cloth I had. And that was also with when I was cleaning the oven. I was using paper towel because I knew that would just destroy my microfiber cloths. And I still went through just so many of them actually getting this whole place cleaned up. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to ask if we got our offer on the house accepted. We are looking at buying a new house, putting our house on the market and everything. And I have to tell you, I don't know yet. We are still in the process. So we will keep you guys up to date. I did want to do a close-up here. Cameras lie to so many people sometimes. Like, I know from a distance this fridge didn't look too dirty, and that's why I quickly did this close-up. I'm like, I sprayed it and I'm like, you know what? I bet the camera's not showing how filthy the side of this fridge is. So hopefully when I did close-up, it showed you guys a better idea of why this so badly needed to be cleaned out. But yes, if you are curious about our house hunting situation and everything, once we know, we will definitely keep you guys up to date. Hopefully in Thursday's video, we'll be able to give you guys an update on our family vlog channel. But as of yet, we have no idea. We're still waiting. It's still a waiting game. I know it's a situation that if it's meant to be, it'll be. That's really all you can do, and wait and see, because there's nothing we can do about it in the end. We just have to be patient. If it's something that God wants for us and sees in our future, he will make it happen. And if he doesn't, well, there's nothing we can do about it. So we do love that property though. It's really hard not to get like super excited about it. Now, cleaning off these coils though, I wish I had one of my brushes that I use to clean my dryer vents, because that would have worked so much better than this hose. But I did clean it off to the best of my ability, but definitely one of those like soft bristle round brushes that you use to clean off dryer vents and stuff like that would have worked so much better and gotten that a lot cleaner. But even still, just doing a vacuum like that can often make the biggest difference when it comes to your refrigerator if it's not running correctly.
I've been alone for what seems like forever. Try to hold it together, but I'm losing my grip. I need someone who can make me feel better. Wrap me up in
This air vent was another area that was just filthy, and I knew I wanted to get my hands on it. So we first of all made sure to actually replace the filter in here, so that was clean. And then I went to work on the outside of it, starting with vacuuming it. It's always best, especially with these vents, to get the loose dust off of it first with a vacuum before you go in and try and wash and clean the grates. Otherwise, you're just pushing dirt around. So get in here with a vacuum first. If you have one of those horsehair brush attachments, that definitely would have made this so much easier. But I had a shop vac, so I did not have any attachments like that was going to work. So I went in there, did that. I then went in with my scrub brush. This wasn't working great. I tried a couple different ways. I was noticing that when I went in with my microfiber cloth and my fingers, it worked well. But then I just grabbed a random fork that I had found behind the fridge, and I used that. It just made my life so much easier and cleaned every individual grate. This was time consuming. This is sped up times 8. So this was definitely not a fast process. It was taking me some time, but I knew when it comes to this house getting clean, the air quality is a situation that is so very important. So cleaning the air grates throughout the house is going to make a massive difference when it comes to the smell of the house, the feel of the house, all the things. Oh, you gotta love this. My first wipe down of the stove after letting that oven cleaner sit on here for a bit. Wipe it all off and then do it all over again. We're working here in layers, and I do find that if you don't have like an overnight situation to let this sit on, or I didn't have like a razor blade or something, letting it sit for about an hour and then wiping it off and spraying it again, you're going to get the best results. Sometimes, even with using major chemicals, sometimes you have to go in and really let the product work, give it its time, and take it off in layers. I say that often when it comes to like hard water spots in showers. Those are areas, stoves, ovens, and showers can sometimes be the most obnoxious things to clean because it's a lot of work if it's years, months, decades of buildup. So don't get down on yourself if it's not coming clean right away. Often if you have something that's really, really built up, you need to take it off in layers. So give yourself grace, give yourself time. It happens to the best of us. I know often, especially on these extreme cleans, it can look like it's so much easier than it is, but I always like to remind people that one, this house I was not doing by myself. This was me and other people helping. And two, these videos are sped up. There is time put in, there is elbow grease put in. Like, this is something that you have to take your time with and just be patient. It's little bits here and there. Progress over perfection, I always tell you guys. May not be perfect the first time you go around, but the more you stay on top of it and the more you keep going, the better it will be. I promise. It happens when it comes to cleaning, when it comes to decluttering. It's all about giving yourself grace and taking it one step at a time. Also, I always mention, take those before and afters. Oh, here I was hoping that this hair dye would come off these counters. It was not. Not with my cream cleanser I tried on here, the magic eraser I tried on here. It just was not coming off with it, and I honestly didn't think it would. Sometimes if I have stone countertops, I actually have a better luck getting stains off. But in this situation, because it was a laminate counter, it was not coming off at all. So we just went on to making sure it was clean and sanitary, because in the end, that is the biggest thing. However, back to the before and afters. It's so important to do before and afters if you can, and just take a snapshot with your phone. Take a snapshot of the room before you start, and then take one at the end. Take a video of before and a video of after, just because when you've been working for hours in a space, it can feel like you got nothing done, even though you probably got so much done. And it's those actual before and afters that even when I'm editing these videos and doing these voiceovers with you guys, is when I look back and I'm like, holy cow. Like, I forget. Like, I get in such a zone, I forget what I even did till I'm watching it back and I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. So sometimes just record yourself. You don't have to put it on social media. Keep it for yourself. Get yourself motivated to get on and do something. Now, those grates from the oven and the refrigerator, I took those into the bathroom, sprayed them down in the bathtub, and I let them sit. I actually never bring them back. I actually let Larry know that, hey, because he was running errands to get more stuff for the house. He was also bringing in his stuff because, like I said, he had to move in the very next day. So he was taking loads of stuff here so that he was starting to move stuff in. And I had actually left when he was gone doing another trip, and I let him know, just so you know, this is in your shower or bathtub in the guest bathroom. It's all sprayed down and everything, so if you give it a good rinse, you can put it back in. But I wanted that stuff to really disinfect and soak in that bathtub as long as possible. So that is what I was doing with all of that. It went in the bathroom. It got a really good spray down, and I just let it sit. Let it sit, let it marinate. Often the best thing about that is when you come back, it's so much easier to clean it. Like I said, most of that stuff he should have just been able to rinse off. Maybe the oven grates needed a little bit of a scrubbing, but when you let your product work, it really does make a huge difference and makes it a lot easier for you in the long run.
We got our windows down, driving down the 405, sing along to the radio. We're gonna make it someday, nothing's gonna get in our way. We will be the biggest band in town. Round and round the world we'll go.
Now, I was watching the clock this whole time because, like I said, I was on a time frame. So I decided when it came to these cabinets, one, I was taking out any of the cabinet liners. Great thing is they did have cabinet liners in here, so that helped a lot. I vacuumed about, took out any of the cabinet liners, and then I went through with some bleach and water and mopped everything. This is just a quicker way of doing it. Would it have been more thorough if I got on a ladder and did it all by hand? Absolutely. But you know what? Sometimes you're working with what you got. And I know a lot of you guys that watch ask me easier ways to do things because of medical conditions or time frame or so many different ways. And this is one of my favorite hacks, is getting in here with your spin mop and clean those cabinets. Luckily, these cabinets weren't so grimy. If they were, I would have pre-sprayed them when I first got here to really let the grime and stuff get off. This was more of just a rinsing that they needed. They weren't too bad, but obviously we still wanted to disinfect and sterilize as much as possible. And once again, we would rather smell bleach than animal stuff. So that definitely helped, is going through this. And I ended up making sure, like I said, switch the mop heads as you go. That's very important, to replace your water and replace your mop heads as needed. I know I don't show those things because honestly it's boring to watch me just replace mop water and mop heads, but keep on top of those things. Make sure you replace them as you go. It's just going to make sure that you're doing a much more thorough cleaning throughout it all. But I knew I still wanted to get into the bathroom. So that's why I was really keeping an eye on the time. I'm like, okay, what in this kitchen can I get done? Because honestly, I could have spent the whole day in this kitchen deep cleaning it. But I wanted to use my time as efficiently and wisely as possible when I was here.
So make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. Oh, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming our names when we're backstage. We're playing loud, surfing the crowd. Everybody's jumping around. Yeah, that's the place where I wanna be. Going on stage, headline on a Saturday night. Saturday night.
I also know it might seem crazy that I am vacuuming and mopping these floors because they were absolutely destroyed. But we're going back to just trying to get this house to smell clean and everything. I knew he wasn't going to be able to pull up these floors and replace them right away. He needs to do them and wants to do it, but everything has to be done in steps and everything. So doing just this mopping and vacuuming is going to make a difference till he can get in here and rip these floors out and do what he needs to do. You're going to see here, yeah. Here's where their dogs had obviously completely tore up the kitchen. So he's going to have to replace them. But until that time, we're at least going to make sure they are as clean as possible so he feels more comfortable moving in here. he was so sad, like looking at everything that had been destroyed because when he had thought he had sold the place, I don't know if you can call it a sale when they weren't paying for what they had signed a contract for, but he's like, the house was so nice. He's like, I had done so much to it and really taken care of it. This was like his first ever property that he owned on his own. So to come back and have it be destroyed was devastating to him. In the toilet, I sprayed or just put in some bleach. Now, because my spray is a Vinegar Dawn mixture, I only sprayed it on the outside of the toilet because I did not want the vinegar and the bleach to mix. If you don't know, vinegar and bleach, don't mix them. They will create toxic fumes. So, yes, I know that, and that is why the bleach went on the inside and the Vinegar Dawn only went on the outside, because I wanted to let it sit and do its thing while I worked on this vanity area. But yes, I see so many people online nowadays doing crazy like mixes of different chemicals and stuff, and it always terrifies me because if you don't know what you're mixing, you could like kill yourself literally. Oh, it can be so bad. So I like to warn people, the one I know for sure you don't mix is vinegar and bleach. It is not a good idea at all. I will say though, as I was wiping down this cabinet, I was shocked at how clean it actually came. It looked really good when I was done. Some of these drawers definitely have some damage to them, but still, after vacuuming them, wiping them down, they look so much better. This one had the most damage. It was obvious water damage in there. Most of these other drawers did clean up much better.
Trouble inside, beating hearts don't lie. An empty page, a story to write. I'm in love, you're divine, and it's all in our signs. We're going away, get your bag, check the tag, decision is made.
As you can see, the water pressure was not that good, which I was very sad because I was like, oh, it'd be so much easier to rinse out this sink if I could splash water on it. That was not an option. I'm not quite sure what the water pressure issue was, but we improvised and just wiped it down. But then I went back to the toilet after it had some time to sit and everything, gave it a thorough wipe down all around it. Just like I said, wanting to make him feel as comfortable as possible. I did also recommend him go to the hardware store and buy a new toilet seat. I always recommend that to people, period, though. Like, when I buy a new house or something, unless it's like brand new construction, I am buying a new toilet seat because I am weirded out by the idea of using the same toilet seat that the previous owner used. I know that's probably so strange, but I am. So I did recommend new toilet seats would probably be a good thing, things like that. But I also know sometimes I'm a little bit more picky when it comes to things. I wasn't sure if he was keeping this vanity or not, so I wanted to clean it like he was keeping it. It's not a horrible piece of furniture, and like I said, I had no idea what his intentions were, so I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna clean it, get it looking good. It wasn't a horrible piece of furniture. It could use some repair work, but in the end, it wasn't in terrible condition once it was all cleaned up. Oh, I also found out that there is still this like plastic foam on the front, like film to protect it. So once I figured that out, I was ripping that stuff off because I was like, okay, this is going to make it look like brand new if I take that off, because all that grime and buildup that was on here comes off with the plastic. So that worked out actually really, really well. I was hoping that I could mop, but I tried in one of the bedrooms the day before, and because they had ripped up all the carpeting and flooring throughout this house, mopping on subfloor just isn't good. It doesn't really work out. So I knew I had to just kind of nix that idea. I think he was going to go through and use that Kills on all the floors anyway to help with any of the odors or staining or anything like that. So I moved on to this shower to give it a good wipe down and scrub down as much as possible in the time frame that I had. But once again, like multiple areas in this house, I did make sure to spray it down with a cleaner before I even left. That way this cleaner could sit on there and work, and he, when he took a shower or something, could just give it a good rinse down. Always let your products work. You can see in this oven, like I said, this sat for like 3 hours, 4 hours, however much time I was here, it sat. It was the very, very last thing I did. And 90% of this stuff came up. There were some areas that were burnt on, that were still dirty. But for the most part, I was so impressed with how this oven looked at the end. If you have these major burnt on spots, this is when I recommend having a little razor blade or something like that to help scrape it up. Otherwise, you can put your oven cleaner on it with some saran wrap and let it sit overnight. It will eat through it in time. But you can see that stuff works miracles when you have a lot of stuff really, really baked on. But now for the best part. You guys know the best parts are always the before and after. So before, all the way back to day one. And then I'm going to show you what this house looked like after 2 long days of cleaning it out, cleaning it up, and all the things. But if you guys made it this far, drop me this emoji down below. You guys know I always appreciate you guys that make it all the way to the end. Also, like, comment, share. Those things help out my channel more than anything else. So share. It's such a huge help to my channel. And if you're new here and made it all the way to the end, I'm so glad you're still here, and would love if you would subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with any new content I have coming out. This Helping Hand series is near and dear to my heart. I love doing it. I've been doing it off and on since 2019 now is when I started this series, and have done it off and on throughout the years, helping dozens of different people. And I love to bring you guys along the journey. But otherwise, I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the rest of these before and afters, and I will see you next time. Bye.